Now, the problem with FX trading, especially if you are new to the world of trading, is what currency pairs do you actually trade? There are so many currency pairs out there, combinations of that you could put together. It can be mind-boggling at time. Now, you might have heard of currency strength, and that's what a lot of people use to filter out the currency pairs to create the ultimate combination. But what you're looking for is three key factors: trend, momentum, and timing. Now, most of you might have seen tools like this, which are very good for getting the trend, but they're missing the timing and momentum part. When is the right time to get in to an FX pair, and has it got the push, has it got the flow of money, has it got the momentum to carry on through? Because you could have a pair that you trade and it goes absolutely nowhere for a day, week, months. You need the right pair to be trading at the right time. Now, I think I might have solved this approach in technical analysis using Renko. A lot of you might be just fundamental traders, and that's one way of doing it. But if you're into your technical analysis and want a solution to finding the right currency pair to trade at the right time, then I've got an example for you here using my knowledge of Renko trading, which I think puts together that key combination of trend, momentum, and timing, and it's going to allow you to filter out the currency pairs that you want to look at to find the ultimate pair to put together. So with that, let's take a look at a quick example. So instead of that, I use this. So this is the core of the currency strength filter, and I use a simple three-step process to whittling down these currency pairs, or finding the ultimate currency pair to trade on any given period of time. Now, in front of you are three Renko charts, and you see they're set to different time frames. Now, I know Renko's traditionally supposed to have no time, but when you use something like TradingView like I'm using here, you can actually use time to your advantage. Now, on the left, I've got a daily Renko chart, then in the middle a 1 hour, and then on the right a 15-minute. Now, I use different combinations of these for different lengths of trades, and like I said, remember those three different combinations that we're looking for: trend, momentum, and timing. So if I'm into longer term, I might put together the daily and the hourly. Shorter term trading, I might use the 1 hour and the 15-minute. Again, play around with the times in this sort of chart package and see what combinations you can come up with. But the other crucial element is creating baskets of currency, individual currencies. And as you can see over here on the right, I've created here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different currency to look at. And you can create many more. You can cover off emerging markets if you want, any currency really you can put together. Now, I'll explain exactly how I put them together later in the video, but for the purpose of this example, I'm going to quickly show you how I would think about it. So I'm going to start from the top. I'm going to look at Australia first, and we've got different indicators set up on here. We've got Bollinger Bands for breakout, we've got a stochastic for our timing and momentum, and we've got just the price action for the sort of trend analysis as well. So what I'm going to look at here is for Australia, say I was going longer term, so I'm looking at the daily and the 1 hour. I'm looking what's happening here at the moment. So both got negative on the stochastic, that's bearish. We've got the trend going down on the 1 hour, and the Australian just about to break out south as well. So I'm going to go bearish for my Australian basket. Now what I'll do is I'll just flag that as red for bearish. Then I'll move on to Canada and the Canadian basket, and that's a mix here. We got an up and a down, got a bit of a mix. I'm neutral Canada. Swiss next, Now it's looking all bullish down the bottom. Bullish, bullish, breaking up bullish. So I'm going to go bullish there. Euro, negative and positive. Reasonable trend coming up in both of them. So erring on the upside, but I'd have to wait for this to change around. So I'm going to be neutral Euro. Japanese yen, what's going on there? Again, trend looking in the longer term has been down, bit of a recovery, heading back south maybe once more. In terms of the stochastics down here at the bottom, we've got bearish and bearish. So I'll be weak bearish there. So for a weak bearish, I maybe use the pink flag there. And GBP, what's going on there? Longer term, trend's been up, sort of coming back though to more neutral. Shorter term, bearish again, I'm neutral there. New Zealand dollar, bearish and bearish in the indicators, bearish, bearish, so we're going to go red there. Finally, the US dollar, it's a mixed bag. We've got the trend coming down, so a weaker US dollar, but we've got the momentum, the timing of our analysis just starting to go bullish there, and then some neutral US dollar there. So over on the right hand side, that leaves us some combinations that we can now put together. So we got a strong Swiss franc, we got a weak Australian dollar, a weak New Zealand dollar, and maybe a weakening Japanese yen. So we then put together that combination. So we might be wanting to say buy Swiss franc, sell Japanese yen, buy Swiss franc, sell New Zealand dollar. I think it might be the other way around, AUD, CHF. So we'd be selling the AUD, buying the Swiss franc. So that is how I filter out the pairs really quickly to find what I want to use. And again, like I said, you can build a whole list of different currencies that you can then do that same quick analysis on. So you then, after filtering out your individual pairs, you've created your short list. That would be the second stage of the process, and then it's back to whatever chart type you like. Now you can take this analysis from Renko World back to candlesticks, Heikin-Ashi, whatever you like, or you can stick in Renko World. I've stuck in Renko charts for the moment, and I've got here those three pairs you can see on the right that we just talked about. And if I just click on that setup, remember we said we wanted to buy the CHF, sell the Japanese yen. That would be a very nice trade, as you can see from the three different charts there. What's been going on the AUD CHF, we'd want to be selling that, and again a nice combination, looks like it's got plenty of momentum there as well. And the New Zealand one, a similar story. So that is our example of putting it together to find you the pairs to trade. Let's just go into a bit of the background now, how I put the currency baskets together, how I built the Renko charts, what sort of variables you might want to be thinking about when you're coming up with this sort of strategy. So let's get into some of the detail how I put that set up together, and we're going to start with the baskets. Now I'm going to use the Japanese yen as the example here. It's really straightforward, easy to do, and with TradingView it's really easy to create your own sort of tickers. Like I said, I call them baskets, but you're essentially your own ticker here. So we're going to look at the Japanese yen, go up into that top corner, double click, and basically all I've done here, and I'll show you how I did it, I will simply just go through the major currencies, putting JPY first, and then as you can see in this combination I added them together to give it a basket strength, and we've got US dollar, Canadian dollar, GBP, Euro, Swiss franc. It's really simple, and then you just hit return after creating that and you've got your own one. Let's just build one just for argument's sake. So all you do, go into the indicator, start typing JPY USD, use the plus symbol on your keyboard, then let's do a really quick one, JPY GBP. Say that's your complete basket. you hit return, and then it'll add it into your watch list down there on the right. And then if you click on that, it's going to give you the Renko chart for it. So then you just do that through the combination of different currencies that you want to look at. Like I said, you might want to add in the Mexican peso, for example. Go through, find MXN USD, MXN CAD, you add, etc., and add them all together to create a basket of that. It might be the Thai baht or some other currency, Brazilian real, that you're interested in looking at. Do that same combination process, and then you've created your own watch list. Now for the US dollar, done something different. I'm actually using the dollar basket. Now that is a tradable futures contract. It's weighted more towards euro, but does have yen, pound, krona, Swedish krona, sorry, in there as well. So a bit of a basket there, and that's my proxy for the US dollar. I could have built my own one, but I've just used the DXY ticker there. So that is how you build your baskets up. Now let's just have a look at the Renko charts that I've used. Let's start in the middle. Don't forget, actually, before I say that, remember I've got the daily on the left, the 1 hour in the middle, the 15-minute on the right, and you can use whatever combinations you like, depending on your strategy, how often you want trade signals, etc., etc. Test it out, but let's just get into what I've set up here. Now you'll notice at the top these are set to ATR, average true range. Now that's okay for quick signals, but that input is always going to change based on the current price action, which is okay, but it makes it impossible to back test your results, and also in TradingView set indicators, alerts on some of these tools that we've got here. So when you have your setup, I suggest you actually switch to a traditional score. And what block size should you use? Well, I've got a video on that, and at the end of this video I'm going to put the links to my Renko playlist and Ultimate Trading playlist that you should work your way through, which will also help you learn to set how to set block sizes. But a real quick method you could do, this is just for argument's sake, you could see at the top here, if we just hover over that, the block size on the 1 hour chart is 0.15. So we could then actually make that fixed by just going back to the traditional, making that 0.15. And what that then allows us to do is every time we click back on it, it's going to be fixed. We're going to have the same benchmark to test by, which is essential for back testing and working out whether this sort of strategy works. But more importantly, if you're time poor or you want to try and automate this, it then allows you to put alerts on these different tools. So for example, I might want, as we'll find out in a minute, that when that moving average crosses the part of the stochastic, the K line, percentage K line, I might want to notify myself with an alert, so that you can then do that by setting that. Or you could do the breakout of these Bollinger Bands to the downside, upside, again creating an alert, so you don't have to sit there watching the screens, which is very useful. And that helps you with the timing part of those 3 variables that I talked about, because it's going to buzz you at just the right time when one of those actions takes place. And let's just have a look at those indicators. So I've got the Bollinger Band on here at the moment. Let's just open them up. Set to 10, 1 with an offset of 5. That creates a nice breakout setup, like you can see right there in the middle there as it broke on down. And you can use that as maybe as an entry point, and maybe coming back into the band as your exit. And down the bottom there, as you saw, we got the stochastics. Now what settings have I used here? I've used actually 5, 3 and 20. Now the 20 basically creates like a moving average for me for that change in trend direction, and I'm looking for when that crosses for potential entry points. So again, if we use this example, we've got the breakdown there, so we're looking for a bearish trade, we then go up to the price action. We could say, well, it's still not, broken out under the band. We're going to wait until it does that, closes out there with one block, and then back in. But you've also got to remember we are using the chart on the left, the higher time frames as well. So again, we're looking for that combination. Are they telling us the same story? Now, that is good when you say go back to your actual pairs you've selected for trading. But when we're in the basket phase, doing that analysis, we want to know what's going on. So go to the Swiss franc there, looking very strong. I'm just using these tools, indicators, as my 3-point guide. So like I said, we got there, we got bullish, so everything's bullish there in terms of momentum and our timing. We got the trend going up in both time frames there. We got the breakout, so I'm bullish Swiss franc. And like I said, we did that analysis where we saw the other combinations to put together. We do exactly the same, and then we could then maybe go down to, say, the 15-minute time frame over here. Let's use CHF JPY as our example there, and then we would wait for that combination. We got, as we know, we got bullish one day, bullish hourly, and then we would wait for those same combinations to play out in the lower time frame as our trading window. And in this example, it was 1:30ish, 2:30 in the afternoon, Tuesday 18th of July, when that happened. And I've got the cursor hovering over there, and you can see where that actually happened in comparison to the other time frames. And you see right there on the left hand side, the daily chart, although we had that breakout here, the 18th, we were well into the strong period right up here. So what I'm saying is that utilizing these higher time frames gives you that confidence to go in on the trade in the lower time frame, because that's where the weight of the money is. And like I said, once you've filtered it out, it's about the timing part of the trade, and you can use a lower time frame like this to get yourself in and out of the trade and trade and ride that trend that you can see there, and that it's got the momentum and the trend strength in your favor. So that's really the detail. In summary, you're going to have to set your baskets up in the currency, individual currencies you want to look at. You then filter those for strong and weak. You then put together your watch list of potential currencies, and in this example I've got the 1 hour and 1 day for my, I suppose, filter, and then I'm going to use the 15-minute for my trading window once I've selected the pairs. And we've got the stochastic, and we've got the Bollinger Band breakout, and we got the price action as our filter tool. So really that's it. And like I said, add whatever current individual currencies you want to look at into the basket mix, and then as you can see, this is, I think, a very good time saver on finding what currency pair to trade. And also, like I said, it's ticking those boxes: trend, momentum and timing. It might take a little time to get set up and started in this strategy, but I can tell you, once you've got the whole setup there, then it really is a quick check, as you saw how quickly I did it, whenever you like. And if you can put alerts on it, all the better. You can automate it. It's a great effective way of trading currencies. So let's quickly go through a live example now of the whole process. So we've opened up our chart, we've created our basket of currencies we've looked at, we've flagged the strong and the weak, and in previous examples we looked at the CHF JPY. Let's look at the Australian dollar against the Swiss franc this time. So we flagged them, we've listed our combinations that we might want to trade. We go to AUD CHF. Let's just turn that off. Traditional, we're going to just put it on the ATR setup for the moment. And there we go. So we've got, let's do some drawings on there. We've got that breaking down, so that's a tick. Got that. Oh, well, we definitely got the trend going down, and we got the breakout there. So that is another tick in the longer term. In the medium term 1 hour chart, again we got the breakout, we've got the trend, and we've got the cross there on the stochastics. So it's all looking very good for short trades for Australia against the Swiss franc. We go over there, and as of putting this video together, it's Wednesday 19th of July, and again we would wait for the variables to play out. We've got the cross there, we go up, it's actually still in, let's call it the Bollinger Band cloud in that zone there. We wait for that to break out, and down it goes. You might ask where to put stop loss. You could use it on the swings of those Renko charts. You could be more aggressive, maybe, and use it the other side of the Bollinger Bands, or as I use a volatility approach for each instrument. Forex is not that volatile a sector, so you can get some reasonably tight stops, but you can either use ATR or, like I use, historical volatility. And again, in the playlist Ultimate free trading course that I'll put at the end of this, it explains exactly how I do that in one of the videos there. You might have a stop here or whatever, and you look for you can go for a fix, maybe risk return, your return there against maybe a risk 1.5 to 1 risk return, or you might use just the variables of the actual tool itself. You can, if I get rid of those lines, drag that across, you might just wait till, like I said in an early example, the price goes back up through into the bands as your closeout. Yeah, you give some back maybe in terms of block size, but it's an easier way to maybe automate that strategy and lock in blocks rather than sitting there watching the screen. So there's lots of different combinations that you can put together here. This is just one quick example. Like I said, go away, play, practice, do your due diligence on the setups, back test. Like I said, block out these different block sizes using the traditional setup rather than the ATR. You'll make it it's far easier to test, and if there are any big price moves or volatility moves, then you can always reassess the block size then, or make it part of your trading plan. It makes it easier. I have a fixed set on all different time frames there, but for the purpose of this, we've just used the floating ATR as the example. But like I said, test it out properly before going live, but hopefully this will save you a lot of time and get you in at the right points, the right momentum to the currency pair that you should be trading, rather than one that you might jump in and it, like I said earlier, it goes nowhere. So this is a way of filtering out those more lively currency pairs that you should be looking at and trading against those that can be frustrating, go nowhere, whipsaw you around, cause trouble for you. This is just one way of doing it. So give it a go and let me know in the comments below what you think of the whole setup, whether you use something similar or got some other ideas there. Throw them at me in those comments. So there you go, a currency strength FX filter Renko strategy setup for you. Hopefully that will help you and save you a lot of time and stress and frustration finding the right currency pair to trade. If you want to talk more about how this works, the setup, I do run a free group on Telegram where there's lots of other traders in there you can discuss ideas with. Lots of free tips, market analysis, etc., in there, worth joining up. Totally free, like I said, link in the description below if you want to do that. And also I mentioned a couple of playlists for you to take a look at. One is the Renko playlist, so if you're into Renko trading, want to learn more about Renko trading, work your way from top to bottom there. Covers all angles off for you, strategy ideas, setups, the issues, the problems around using Renko, all incorporating there. And also another playlist for you is the Ultimate Free Trading Course playlist. That is, everything in there from psychology, trade risk management, all about the markets, the questions that you'll ask, strategy ideas. It is all in there. I think it's about 48 hours worth of video content. Start from the top, work your way through the bottom, and hopefully that will make you a much better trader. And those two playlists are coming up right now.